Hey Year 12s, one of the 3 different forms of responses you can use for context is an expository essay. If you're at all confused about what the task of context writing is, stop. Go watch our video on what context writing is, then come back to this. In this video, I'm going to be explaining what the strengths and weaknesses of expository writing are, some quick tips and tricks, and look at an example structure that you can use. Firstly, why would you choose to write an expository essay? Flexibility. Expository essays are super flexible and have no set structure, so you can really work in any relevant examples you want without going off topic. Applicability of criteria. They also make it easy to tick boxes required to get high marks in context because they allow you to be creative in your style while still encouraging you to discuss the prompt and text in detail. Familiarity. Unlike a creative piece, expository essays will feel quite familiar, even if you haven't done them before, because they are similar to text response essays or like writing a speech. Low risk. Expository essay writing is pretty low risk so long as you are well prepared and know what you're doing. Pretty much any prompt that comes up can be handled, whereas creative pieces leave you at risk of encountering an idea that might not fit the stories that you've been working on. Don't let that list deter you from choosing to write a creative piece if that's what suits you. That form has its own benefits, so check out our video on creative writing as well. So that's the upside, but what are the risks, you ask? Well, there are a few considerations with expository essays. Don't let it become a text response essay. Some of the time, students have trouble blending their writing to talk about a few different things and end up being overly text-focused. This means you'll miss out on marks for your creativity and broad thinking about the prompt. It's hard to choose the right examples. Because expository essays are so broad and flexible, you can talk about just about anything, but sometimes this can be overwhelming. You'll struggle to succeed if you don't have strong, specific examples from external texts, history, politics, psychology, so on and so forth to draw on. They require a very strong vocabulary. Expository essays often suffer from repetitiveness. A strong vocabulary is required to show the assessor that the prompt isn't just being repeated again and again. There are high expectations. If you write an expository essay, it is expected that you are able to interpret the prompt expertly. It's not enough to just explore one angle of it. You must demonstrate that you understand all of what is being proposed. Let me offer you some quick tips on writing an effective expository essay and not being dragged down by these points I just raised. Explore all aspects of the prompt. Try to stretch the prompt out in a few different directions. Ask yourself questions. What does this prompt mean? What are the consequences of the statement? Is there a way that the prompt is true or false? Asking yourself all of this will encourage you to write a range of paragraphs that aren't too narrow. Integrate the ideas of the text with the prompt. To avoid writing a text response essay, only use specific examples from the text that you feel explore the prompt in some way, and make sure to always tie the text back to that idea. Use external examples. Show the assessor that you've thought broadly about context by including some examples you've learned from the wider world. Explore the prompt rather than proving it. Expository doesn't require you to make an argument in the traditional sense. Instead, spend your time exploring the different angles of the prompt. Don't purely agree or disagree with the prompt. Look at all the ways it can be true or untrue. Don't use inappropriate examples. Make sure you use examples that your assessor would want to read about. For example, stories about parties and breakups with boyfriends tend to come off as too limited for context writing. Keep in mind that your assessor is older and reads a lot of these essays, so give them something different and well researched. Okay, now I'm going to walk you through how to structure an expository essay. As I mentioned before, this is a very flexible form of writing, so you aren't at all limited to this structure. It's just an example. Introduction. Here you have a general discussion of the prompt. Don't become focused on texts or on a particular example. Merely stretch the topic out in the directions that you want your essay to cover. Body paragraph 1. Think of this paragraph as like a sandwich. The general sentences that tie this paragraph back to the prompt are the bread, and the exploration of the themes within the text and other examples forms the meat. Taking the time to widen the ideas of the meat to a wider world context is like adding mustard for flavour. By thinking of it in this way, you remind yourself to connect your general ideas about the prompt to specific examples from the text. Body paragraph 2. Same as body paragraph 1. If you're not a fast writer or you feel you would like to explore each idea in more depth, skip this second text paragraph. Body paragraph 3. Similar to paragraphs 1 and 2, except that you reach outside of the prescribed texts to another source. Use the same sandwich formula, but substitute a real-world example in the place of the text. This could include, but it is not limited to, political, historical, and philosophical examples. Body paragraph 4. This is your opportunity to tie in your creative or reflective writing. Using the same sandwich formula, write about a personal experience that is both mature and related to the prompt. If you don't want to write personally, focus on another real-world or external text example for this paragraph. This shows the examiner the breadth of your skill, that you are able to write creatively as well as analytically. Conclusion. Return to the general style of the introduction. Work to tie together your ideas, but don't feel you need to sum up your ideas in the same way that you do a text essay. Try to include an external quote which encapsulates the views on the prompt that your essay has displayed. I hope this video has given you a basic overview of expository essays. Make sure to check out our videos on persuasive and creative writing, as well as the videos on your specific context and texts. Thanks for watching, and happy writing.
Click here to go to the Engage Wiki if you find yourself getting stuck. Or click here to see the next tape.